The Trump Brain Trust accidentally texting attack plans to an editor at The Atlantic might just be the tip of the iceberg. The Journal reported, quote, 2 U.S. officials said that Waltz has created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on how to broker peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as military operations. They declined to address if any classified information was posted in these chats. I cannot explain to you all how not in protocol this is. Trump and Mike Waltz's so-called explanations for how a journalist ended up in the chat, they are just getting desperate now.
You've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in,
you that
it gets
contact.
sucked in.
Jeffrey Goldberg dispelled that ridiculous answer on Meet the Press on Sunday.
This isn't the Matrix. Phone numbers don't just get sucked into other phones. I don't know what he's talking about there. You know, very frequently in journalism, the most obvious explanation is the explanation. My phone number was in his phone because my phone number is in his phone. He's telling everyone that he's never met me or spoken to me. That's simply not true.
In another exclusive report, the Wall Street Journal discovered that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth brought his wife and brother to sensitive meetings. Hegseth's wife, Jennifer Hegseth, isn't a Defense Department employee, defense officials said. It isn't uncommon for spouses of senior officials to possess low-level security clearances, but a Pentagon spokesperson declined to say whether Jennifer has one. Jennifer didn't respond to requests for comment. Jennifer Hegseth also attended a meeting last month at North Atlantic Treaty Organization headquarters in Brussels, where allied defense officials discussed their support for Ukraine, according to 2 people who attended the meeting. Hegseth's brother, Philip Hegseth, has also been traveling with him on official visits, the Pentagon said. Joining us now is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. She's a Democrat out of Washington State, and she is a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Ma'am, there's a lot here.
Symone.
Congresswoman, first of all, we should not ignore the news of and what Donald Trump was saying about wanting a 3rd term yesterday and speaking to our colleague, my colleague, Kristen Welker, or talking about Vladimir Putin. But, you know, as David Rothkopf said, put your money where your mouth is. You got to walk it like you talk it. However, I think he said all of those things to distract us from this thing right here. And now we know there's more to the story, because where there's smoke, there's fire.
I completely agree with you, Symone. All these crazy things that Donald Trump is saying, and they come out every hour, right? But this is a distraction from the complete breach that happened with Pete Hegseth and the national security apparatus having a conversation on Signal about plans for an attack. And I was sounding the alarm back in December on Lawrence's show about why Pete Hegseth was wholly unqualified. What they have just done is complete amateur hour and shows that they are unfit to serve. But on top of this, they're trying to gaslight us, right? Pete Hegseth's first response to this was trying to discredit Jeffrey Goldberg, right? That was the first thing he said. He's not a real journalist. Then on top of that, you have, you know, Walsh adding his number into the Signal chat. You can't add a number to a chat if it's not in your contacts on your phone. Those are just facts. And so this is amateur hour. They're incompetent. They're embarrassing. But here's the deal. This is dangerous incompetence, and it's something that we should not stand for. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, this is the United States of America. He's a Secretary of Defense, and he is not fit to have this job.
Not fit to have this job. You know, we have been watching Senator Booker, who is making a marathon speech about how these are not normal times. And whether we're talking about our national defense information just on Signal, or Elon Musk, or the assault on civil service members, the assault on not just our institutions, but truly the progress that was made. How are you thinking about that in your position in the House, and specifically on the Armed Services Committee?
So I'll say there's so much happening, and I thank Senator Booker for standing strong and reminding people of all the transgressions. To your point, all of these agencies that serve the public are there to help people. Everything from Social Security to Veterans Affairs to clean air, clean water, food for children, funding to help people stay in nursing homes, a whole plethora of things that we know people expect us to do. On top of that, what's happening in national security now is just a complete embarrassment. You know, you just did a segment about Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump claiming that he's mad at him. To your point, he's only mad because he's getting nothing, and Putin is completely playing him. And what happened with Hegseth and the national security apparatus is something that is not going to go away. But I asked one question, Symone. There were only 3 Republicans who did not vote to confirm Hegseth. Only 3. So while we're talking about Trump and Hegseth and what's happening, at some point, my colleagues who are in the Senate, members of the GOP, and my House colleagues have to say something, right? Don Bacon spoke out about Russia, but where is the spine and the patriotism of Republicans I serve with? Their silence is shameful and it's un-American.
And I think that's why what Senator Booker is doing has struck so many people. I was on the train, still on the train,
Right.
frankly, when he first took to the floor, and there were so many people that were like, thank you, because it's dire, and enough elected officials, it feels like, are not telling us what they really think, are not standing with the people, talking about just how insane and crazy and unacceptable all of this is.
No, you're completely right. I mean, you know, I did a town hall in a part of my district that I didn't win. I did a telephone town hall. 22,000 people showed up to hear about Social Security, Symone. And so what we're hearing right now from the American public is that this is not right. And as you know, they're telling Democrats, do something. And we're doing everything we can with the 215 members we have. When we go to court, we tend to win. But as I said before on this show, we have to hold the Republicans accountable. This is not just about Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Pete Hegseth. This is about the entire Republican Party and what they've become.
The enablers that have propped up what we are seeing right now. Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland, thank you very much for your time tonight and your words.
Thank you so much for having me.
With Mitch McConnell retiring from the Senate, Kentucky Democrats are eyeing his seat to make gains in next year's midterm elections. Meet the candidate who wants to make that a reality and become both the first woman and the first black person to be a senator from the state of Kentucky, or the Commonwealth. That's next.